What's poppin', guys? We are finally here with the next installment of Pimp My Squad. It is about that time. The wait is finally over. We are here and now. Alright, so I'm glad I got this done because I've been so busy with work lately, and it just feels so rewarding, especially with all these teams I'm about to present you all today. Now, if you don't know what the series is about, by the way, this is actually a series that I started over a year ago for Gen 6, where I take your teams, you put them in a paste bin, drop them off in the comments, let me know in the paste bin itself where what kinds of mons you want me to not change on the team, what kinds of mons you I guess don't want on the team maybe, or like basically stuff like just like paint me a roadmap, I guess. And also maybe let me know like what you're having trouble with, what your team is struggling with, because that'll give me a better idea of when I'm pimping the squads, how are we going to make it better. So anyways, so we got 10 teams today that I picked randomly. So yeah, also if you have any other questions about Pimp My Squad itself, the series, then feel free to watch the introduction video that I posted like a month ago. I'll link it in the description, and you could, I guess, get a better idea of how you should be submitting teams, or what the series is about. Any other questions you have, just let me know. But yeah, we got 10 teams here that I picked kind of at random, I guess. I wanted to pick a diverse bunch, just all over the comment section. We got like 300 comments, over 300 comments, which is pretty crazy. Especially because I can only choose 10, right? So I feel kind of bad not using everybody's, but it'll be like over time, if you keep submitting teams and the series keep going on and stuff, you'll be able to have a much better chance at getting your team featured. But here are the 10 that we got today. And over the span of like the time that I posted the announcement video for the new installment up till now, like the meta has changed so much. Like there's been like new mega Pokemon like releasing, like so many like new mega Pokemon. We got Marshadow has already come and gone, so it's interesting now because I had to make sure that the team actually was able to work in like the current meta itself. Because I think I started it back when Marshadow was like, even before it was released, like just pimping the squads and stuff. It took me a while because like I said, I had work and stuff like that, but we're finally here. We're finally got this episode out right now. So let's just go ahead and hop into the first team, and let's just go ahead and just begin the episode right now. And I hope you all are excited. The support really means a lot to me, of course. The support does mean a lot, so I do appreciate it. So let's just go ahead and hop right into it. Okay, so the first team we got here that we're going to be pimping into a Lord squad is from CaxerZ. I do apologize if I say the names wrong of people, but in any case, we have here a team that he has built around a Torn T with ICMZ and Icy Wind. So that's pretty interesting. Like, okay, so firstly, of course, we're not going to be changing this Pokemon because that's the one he wanted to keep. That's what he built it around. So we are going to keep that. Like I said, of course, if you have any special requests, any Pokemon you want me to make sure that I keep on the team, let me know in the paste bin itself or in the comment or whatever. And even if they're like Pokemon you don't want me to put on it, or like I said before. So you get the idea, I'm sure, by now. But anyways, we have here ICMZ with Icy Wind, which actually is pretty cool because, regular Icy Wind is not going to OHKO stuff like Chomp or Lando T or Zygarde. It'll do a lot, but it's not going to OHKO. With the ICMZ, it probably will, so that's pretty cool. Now, we also got here Jirachi for Stealth Rocks, Mew for Defogging. So immediately we got the Stealth Rocker, the Defogger. We got a Greninja here, which it's pretty interesting. Life Orb with Power Up Punch, pretty cool. Lando T, which is Choice Scarf, and a Volcarona, which is Choice Specs. Okay, cool. So like I said, or I have not said yet, but I will say this right now. I do test the teams. I do test them beforehand, like the before team. This team that you see right here, I do test it before, and I do test the final product of the team after I edit everything and get rid of any of the issues that the team has. So you'll be getting the final product of the team. I've been asked this before on like last year, so if you have any questions about that, this should hopefully answer it. I do test both versions of the team, and I make sure that the team is fully tested before I give it back, or like in this video. So anyways, so now looking at this team, I can definitely see that we have a little bit of a threat to maybe like Greninja. Okay, Ash Greninja is a pretty big threat because usually I guess like maybe like Ferrothorn can sort of check the Greninja form before it, I guess, it transforms into a Z, not the Z, into a Battle Bond Greninja. But like Dark Pulse switching is very limited. Greninja is like gonna take a ton from Battle Bond Dark Pulse or like Specs Dark Pulse, so that's gonna be a bit of an issue, I feel, and especially since like Volcarona doesn't really set up or anything. that could also definitely Greninja is a pretty big threat to the team. I think another big threat is going to be Zygarde, especially like sub Zygarde, because like a Spadef sub Zygarde can actually put in a lot of work, and you do see those I guess decently often, because 1000 Arrows hits everything pretty hard. I guess the only kind of checks that you have for it are like you can even set up on Lando, like especially like Scarf Lando, you can set up on that. Like even like Greninja too, because when you start coiling up, it's gonna eat the Ice Punch. It's definitely gonna eat it. So I feel like that's like those two Pokemon, which you do see a lot on the ladder, gonna be Pokemon that we got to take care of. So I definitely want to keep that Tornadus, like you said, you know, you wanted to keep that on the team. I also want to keep the Volcarona here because I feel like a Quiver Dancing set can be really useful, and I'm actually gonna make it right now for you. So I do like Fiery Dance. Because of the fact that it also boosts special attack as well, even though Fire Blast hits extremely hard. I guess like I really like Fiery Dance because it actually can boost you, and plus like while testing on the ladder, Fire Blast missed like so many times for me. So I don't want you to have to like rely on a Fire Blast hitting in order to win the game. So I do like Fiery Dance. So basically like the three moves that I was thinking about Fiery Dance, Giga Drain, and Hidden Power. Ground. I'm typing with one hand, by the way, so I do apologize if I misspell. Anyway, so I like this set a lot, and I'm actually going to change this item to Metronome because I'll explain too. I'll explain it why, and it's actually pretty smart. Let me make this a bulkier set. I do like a bulky Volcarona set because setup is a lot easier, firstly, and secondly, it actually it puts in so much work in terms of eating up hits and just dealing out a lot of damage. So this is the spread I got here. At +1, we're faster than like Mega Manectric and Mega Lopunny and stuff, and we have a good amount, like a decent amount of defense. We can kind of sponge hits like relatively well from maybe priority moves like Fake Out and stuff. And we got like Giga Drain too, so we can heal up as well. So like I was running Bug Buzz at first, and Bug Buzz was a pretty cool move. It actually dealt a lot of damage to stuff like Mew, I don't know, like Slowbro, I guess. Like Giga Drain can deal with that too, and we can like set up with Quiver Dance pretty well. This is a really fun set, and with Metronome, right? Mainly Fiery Dance is like a sort of spammable move in the sense that you keep clicking Fiery Dance, right, in order to try to get yourself a special attack boost. But you know, sometimes you don't always get that. It's a 50% chance to get a boost by 1 in your special attack, but you're gonna keep clicking it, right? So why not attach a Metronome to this thing so that regardless of the fact that you're not getting boosts sometimes, you'll still be doing more damage with the Metronome. which I find pretty cool because Metronome, it just allows you to keep clicking moves after move, and you could just keep doing more damage. This is a fun set, I guess. Another option, like I said, you can run Bug Buzz. I think Bug Buzz is another really fun way of using this set because Bug Buzz deals a lot of damage. It deals more damage than Fiery Dance. But I think for practicality purposes, Giga Drain's good because it actually gives you that longevity with healing, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, I definitely want to keep Tornadus Volcarona. Now we gotta, like I said, have more options to deal with stuff like Greninja, Ash Greninja, even like Protean Greninja can be a threat too. Protean, Ash Greninja, Zygarde and stuff like that. Like Zygarde can be a pretty big threat to this team, since of course like Scarf Lando cannot really eat it too well. It can intimidate, but it's not gonna be taking damage well at all. So I think what we should do here firstly is I want to replace Jirachi here. Like I feel like we can combine these two in a sense and put Stealth Rocks and Defog on 1 Mon. I'm just gonna go with Empoleon here. It actually also helps a lot versus Azumarill, which can kind of be a threat to this team because we don't even have Gunk Shot on this thing. So Azu can definitely be a threat to this team because, especially like Bandit Azu will nothing really eats it up on this team. But I think Empoleon can kind of do that pretty well. So I'm gonna add a Shuca Berry here. And I think like Shuca Berry and Empoleon is pretty cool because it actually eats Earthquake. You can play more risky with it, especially versus like Lead Lando, because they can't OHKO you with Earthquake or anything. So we just add like Toxic here because it actually wears down Mons really well, like Tangrowth and Slowbro and stuff. You don't usually see Slowbro, but in the cases that you see Mega Slowbro and stuff, it's just there for that. And like Tangrowth, like I said, it just wears stuff down really well. And we can probably run a more bulky set on both spectrums of defenses. Like for instance, we can do like not 1,552. We can do like a mixed sort of defensive wall with Bold Nature. I like that a lot because It not only takes special hits well, it also takes physical hits well, especially also like Tapu Lele's Psyshock too, because it usually also it kind of runs that sometimes, so we don't want to just invest completely in Spadef and then have like nothing for Fizdef here. So it's a pretty nice tank. It's a pretty good wall. It can take hits well, it can defog, it can set up rocks. I think it goes well with the team because it gets off defog pretty easily, and that's useful for Pokemon like Volcarona and Tornadus, which are weak to rock types, and then you got like an Empoleon here, which is resistant to rock, so that's some nice synergy right there, if I do say so myself. And of course we will have to add like an electric sponge. I definitely think that we can maybe swap Greninja or something. So anyways, like I said, we want to keep more things for like Zygarde and for Greninja and stuff. I do like Tangrowth a lot, and it does preserve the bulky offensive nature of the team, because like I said, like I think the person like they said they wanted this team to be bulky offense, if I'm not mistaken, but it's still a very bulky Pokemon. It sponges hits well, it can do some good damage alongside it. So let's just go ahead here, add Assault Vest here with 4 attacks, and I think that's going to be really nice for this team because it actually puts in some good work alongside these other mons here. So we can just go Giga Drain knockoff. I like Hidden Power Ice because does some good damage to like Landorus, Zygarde, and stuff like that. Yeah, like even though like some Zygardes they run like sub-toxic and things like that to wear down Tangrowth, we'd wear it down a lot. We'd wear it down a lot for sure. So yeah, we'll just go ahead here and go with max this, and 4 defense with like Sassy Nature. So this is a really cool Assault Vest Tangrowth set. I mean, it's standard set, but it's nice. It definitely puts in the work that we need for the team. I think that this Metronome and this ICMZ is like really cool. It's really cool items, and it's just a cool way of using Volcarona and Tornadus, I guess, on the same team. So instead of Landorus, I wanted a Pokemon that can, I guess, kind of set up over an opposing side's team. A lot better than Landorus, I guess. Like we could keep Landorus. I'm pretty sure we can keep Landorus, but I wanted a Pokemon that I guess could take advantage of just having this nice offensive pressure here. And I felt like having a Zygarde could be cool for this team. And Zygarde's pretty cool because, especially since it takes a lot of teams. Like a lot of teams are unprepared for the set that I'm going to show you. So we got leftovers here, and I definitely like Coil with sub. Usually, like nowadays, you see a lot of Dragon Dance sets. You see like what D-Dance with the Z move. You see Banded. You see like sub DD with Protect. There's like a lot of different types of sets you see. But I feel like sub Coil has been like decreasing in usage lately, from what I've seen, at least from when I've been laddering. I've not been seeing it as much. So I definitely think that this set's cool and can put in work. I'm gonna give it a really interesting EV spread here. We got the nice HP over 405 so that we can sub up on mons that have Seismic Toss. We got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just a pinch of this. See, it's kind of like cooking, right? It's kind of like cooking. You're approximating EVs, you're just throwing them in, and you're gonna make something nice out of it. So there we go. So that's nice. And we have like speed over 420, no, 242, which I think some Pokemon set themselves to. Mainly just 240 benchmark, which is like Adamant Bisharp and below. And I have been seeing some Bisharps lately, which is still like a cool mon for sure. But I definitely think this sub Zygarde is really nice. And even like dealing with Bisharp too, because it can coil up, it can sub, it avoids status. It's just, it's so nice. It's so nice on this team. And if you want to like break stall even better, you can go with like Toxic here if you want. And that actually breaks through Tangrowth, but I do like Extreme Speed because it's more offensive in nature. So we'll go ahead and add the Zygarde to the team, which is nice. Now the final Pokemon here that I figured we could add. I don't remember there being a Mega Pokemon on this team. Maybe I wasn't looking properly, but yeah, we're gonna add a Mega Pokemon on this team right now. For this team here. So I do like a Fairy type Pokemon on this team, and we do have here the next Pokemon that I'm gonna add. It's gonna be Gardevoir. I like Mega Gardevoir on this team, and I'm actually gonna add a very interesting sort of heat set. We got firstly Hyper Voice, right? We got Psyshock. We also want to be able to, I guess, sort of shut down stall, so we're gonna run Taunt here. And finally, all right, we're gonna add Trick Room. And I do like Trick Room a lot on this thing, and I've been testing it out a bit. It actually can, firstly, it can put in work versus stall because it taunts things. It can do a lot of damage, especially since we're running Modest. We don't need the extra speed because we're running Trick Room. We're running a Modest Gardevoir. It's going to be punching holes in teams left and right. So that's really cool. And yeah, then we got here a good amount of speed that can outrun, I guess, stuff like whatever base Smeargle is and below. I think inclusive to Tapu Bulu. I don't know what that base is. I think it's like base 75, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, this is cool because firstly, it can shut down Stall, Taunt, Hyper Voice, Psyshock. It's kind of all you need. Just breaks through a lot of things. And then you got Trick Room. So in case you're up against like fast-paced offense, like really fast offense, Trick Room can help you out there. It can like, you can Trick Room up if they have like win conditions of like Greninja, Coco, stuff like that. You just Trick Room, start spamming your attacks. And it's cool because even though we do get walled by stuff like Heatran, Ferrothorn, and things, we have lures for that, right? We have HP Ground, Volcarona to help us out versus Heatran. It can also deal with Ferrothorn really well, and even Scizor. And we got Tornadus with Heat Wave because Heat Wave can actually deal with Scizor and with Ferrothorn and stuff. We got like Earthquake on Tangrowth to deal with Tran, and then of course Zygarde, which sets up on all 3 Steel types. So that's really cool, and I think it works really well with the team. And I think the initial ability can be Trace. So that's gonna be the team here, and I hope you guys like this one. I hope you, Caxer Zed, do appreciate this team. It's been working well for me. I've been laddering up with it, and I've been consistently winning games with this team. But if you have any other trouble, let me know, and I will be sure to help you out. So with that being said, let us move on to team number 2. Alright, so our second team here is going to be from MP Knife. We got here Lapras team. Really cool Lapras squad here. I saw this and I was just like, ooh, we gotta use Lapras on this Pimp My Squad episode. So we got Lapras, Mega Pidgeot, Skarmory, Zygarde, Tapu Koko, and a Mienshao. Pretty cool team overall. So some of the threats that I did notice initially was there was a pretty big threat to what was it, like Tapu Lele is a pretty big threat because I don't think Skarmory can really sort of deal with it too well. In terms of, I mean, it can switch in, I guess, sort of, to it, depending on what it goes for, but I think Tapu Lele is a pretty big threat, especially since, like, Psyshock can destroy a lot of stuff. And, like, if it has, like, T-Bolt coverage, like Gigavolt Havoc, I've seen sometimes. So, yeah, definitely Tapu Lele is a pretty big threat. What else? I think I had some trouble, while testing this team, I had some trouble versus Megatar. Megatar is a big threat because Stone Edge 2-hit KOs Mienshao, and you gotta be careful of Ice Punch, too. Like, I guess, like, even Thousand Arrows can't kill it, and I'm like, Megatar is a pretty big threat because they usually run like Stone Edge Fire Punch or something, or even like +1 Fire Punch destroys Skarmory. Skarmory can't really like phase that or anything. Another big threat, I guess, Zygarde, because yeah, Zygarde's a pretty big threat because even though like Lapras can check it sort of, Banded Zygarde, like I'm pretty sure it will 2-hit KO Lapras, and Banded Zygarde can kind of run through this team. Since Skarmory will get grounded and then quaked by that 1,000 arrows. So yeah, we got some stuff that we got to patch up here. I think the first thing we're gonna do for just to begin this team off is I want to change the set a little bit. Like, of course, I think the request was, of course, to keep Lapras, and we're gonna keep it. We are gonna keep Lapras. I want to add an Assault Vest here because you were saying that it deals well with Greninja, and I see it has 4 attacks here. I think an Assault Vest makes sense because we were running 4 attacks. I think it makes more sense over leftovers, and actually helps. It's going to help you out a lot more versus special attackers like Greninja. You're going to be able to sponge hits a lot easier. I think that's just a smarter way of using this set here. Going to change up the EV spread a bit. Going to add 16 to this, 28 to this, 36 to this, max to that, and then 176 here. So basically what this EV spread does is it allows you to take a Specs Tapu Koko's T-Bolt from full, which is really cool. Also, it can survive 2 Earthquakes from defensive Landorus, since I guess you mainly want this thing to be able to sponge hits on the special side, but you also have a little bit of bulk on the defensive side so that you can check Landorus. You can also check Zygarde from full pretty well, so that's nice. And I think other than that, the moves we're going to keep the same. I think it's really cool with Ice Shard Priority. It's been, like, while testing the team, Ice Shard Priority has actually been coming in clutch. It's been coming in pretty clutch. So I also want to keep Tapu Koko, but I do want to change the set for Tapu Koko. I actually want to run more of a breaker set for this thing, because I feel like if we could chip stuff down with Lapras' Ice Shard, that'd be pretty useful, and just being able to weaken stuff that usually would switch into Tapu Koko is nice. So we're gonna run the Tapunium Z on this thing, and we're gonna make it a physical attacker with Wild Charge. It's a pretty cool set, nice and heat. Nature's Madness to go with the Z move. So what that does, you know, Tapunium Z with Nature's Madness breaks down a Pokemon, hits them with 75% of their health. So that's really cool. We're also gonna go with Brave Bird. Hits Pokemon like Mega Venusaur and fighting type Pokemon and Volcarona and stuff like that. And U-turn. So this should be the Eevee spread, I think. That's good. While testing Mega Pidgeot, I found that, especially on like the upper ladder and stuff, it has not been putting in much work. A lot of Pokemon are outclassing it, and a lot of Pokemon are faster than it to begin with. So I want to make it, I guess, sort of a different Mega Pokemon, a different Mega. And I also had trouble versus like Azumarill with the initial team. Like Belligerm Azu put in a lot of work versus us, so I wanted to add a Mega Venusaur, which is really cool for this team. It has some good synergy with this because Lapras, Tapu Koko, Mega Venusaur, and Mega Venusaur sponges hits that Lapras does not appreciate, so I do like that a lot. We're going to go with Chlorophyll as the base ability, and Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power Fire. So pretty standard moveset from what you've probably seen since like last gen. And we're going to go with a different Eevee spread here. A bit faster. I think this is like a standard Eevee spread for this thing nowadays. But with, what am I missing here? Oh, 80. And then 104 speed, so we're actually faster than, I think we're probably faster than like Rotom and stuff, and maybe like faster than Landorus. I'm not sure what speed Landorus hits. I think you could also like take some out of here and put it in speed. I think like more like nowadays, more and more Landorus are running more speed, so I don't know. I think this is fine. It's as it is right now. With Modest Nature is good. So that's going to be the spread we got here for this Mega Venusaur, and I think it works well with the team overall. Now, we want to get rid of our Zygarde weakness, so I think instead of Skarm plus Zygarde, we're going to go with Heatran firstly, which can deal better with, I guess like fire types in general, and like also like Tapus, I guess, Tapu Lele and things like that. Not really much in terms of switching, but more in terms of just checking it really well. And I think this, like with the Tapu Koko's terrain, it can help us out by getting rid of the psychic terrain, which is nice. And yeah, we'll just go ahead here and run. I think Choice Scarf is cool. I do like Choice Scarf a lot. So they have to kind of be a Choice Scarf Tapu Lele in order for it to beat us, to beat Heatran. And I've noticed more and more nowadays that fewer and fewer Tapu Leles are Choice Scarfed. So I've been seeing a lot of Calm Mind or just Z move attackers like Taunters maybe. So this could be cool. With Lava Plume, Flash Cannon, Earth Power, and Stone Edge. And Stone Edge actually helps us check Zard Y really well, as well as Volcarona. And we can just run this spread here with Timid. Even though we're minus attack, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really impact Stone Edge too much. And I do want to change this Zygarde because we already have Z-move Coco, which is cool. I'm gonna change it to Orlando T, give it Stealth Rocks, which we did lose from Skarmory. And the only thing now that we have to add besides this is a Hazard Control Mon, and I have the perfect one for you guys. I have the perfect one for you. Let me put Hidden Power Ice. I love Hidden Power Ice on Landorus because it actually does really well versus other Landers, Zygardes, and Chomps and stuff like that. We can go with U-turn from Momentum, so it kind of has a little bit of a Momentum core with Coco in terms of switching around. Now, the Eevee spread we're going to go with here is going to be 248, 208, 28, and 24. And we can just go with an Impish Nature. So there we go, we got our Landorus here with Rocky Helmet. Got the helmet on deck, so this squad is being pimped pretty well, and the final touch of this team is going to be changing this Mienshao. So we got a nice Choice Scarf Tran. Mienshao is cool and all, I like Mienshao a lot, but I think for this team specifically, we need some hazard control on the team. So we are going to replace Mienshao, alright? Drum roll here. Someone give me a drum roll right now. We got here Hitmontop, which I actually found to be really useful. A really cool way of using this Mon for a hazard control for this team. So we are going to go with Leftovers. Leftovers will give us that nice little sort of, I guess sort of like that chip HP where we're getting that, I'm about to say Leftovers damage, but we got that Leftovers recovery. So we got Toxic Protect, which I find to be really useful, especially wearing down stuff. I've been noticing, like I've been using this team a bunch on the ladder and stuff, and like Toxic Protect, it helps me like break down a lot of stuff. Like for instance, I've toxicked at least like 4 Zapdoses and like worn it down, so that's fun. We're gonna go with Break. over any other fighting move, because I do like Brick Break, because it's interesting because I've noticed I've been facing a lot of Aurora Veil spam teams with like hyper offensive Aurora Veil teams. Brick Break will break through the screens. So that's cool, especially when we want you know, to put in some damage with another mon, for instance. This can break it down. This can break it down really well. So let's go with an EV spread, a pretty bulky EV spread, I guess. Will be fine. 248, 124, and 136. So you could play around with the EV spread if you want. I just run this because it gives us like a good amount of bulk with the Intimidate. This actually helps us. This beats Mega T-Tar. This set beats Mega T-Tar easily because of Toxic Protect. Firstly, we can wear it down. Also, just Brick Breaking something is nice. So that's gonna be the team. Hope you like it. And this is a really fun. This is a really fun team. It's got some nice color in the beginning here. Some pretty good blue, yellow, green, red, and then I guess kind of like more rustic at the end here. But it's a cool team for sure, and it's been putting in good work actually. I like this team a lot. Do like this team a lot. So now that we're done with this team, so yeah, if I do miss anything like while I'm pimping it on the screen and stuff, just know that in the paste bins itself it'll be correct, I'm pretty sure, unless you guys find something. If you find something that I missed, then just let me know. But yeah, any other questions, you know, leave a comment for me. So let's go ahead and check out team number 3. Alright, so team number 3, we got a team from Shadow Kirby. We got here Hydreigon. We got Hydreigon, Tapu Koko, Mega Scizor, Greninja, Ash Greninja, Lando T, and Tornadus Therian. So looking like a Volturn team, and of course the request was to keep the style of Volturn style, and I think also keep Hydreigon on the team. I'm pretty sure, I think. So yeah, anyways, I definitely like this team a lot. It's pretty cool. I think another request was that he was having trouble with stall, so we gotta change the team in a way where the team is not gonna be struggling too much with stall anymore. And I had a couple ideas for this when going into it. So like I said, I mean, we're gonna keep Hydreigon here. I think it's a cool Pokemon, works well with the team. I think Flamethrower is fine over Fire Blast because I don't like missing. I don't like missing at all. And I think Flamethrower still will destroy like Scizor and stuff too. So I think that should be fine. Like, I guess the only reason you'd want to run like Fire Blast is to do more damage to Ferrothorn, but if it misses, then you're pretty much dead. And I just like Flamethrower because it deals a lot of damage to that Pokemon, and it does a lot to like Magnezone as well, I guess. So we'll run with Flamethrower, and I'm pretty sure it OHKOs like Mega Beedrill too. It's faster than Mega Beedrill. Hydreigon is faster than Mega Beedrill, and it does OHKO it with Flamethrower, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, anyways, let's just run Flamethrower on this thing. You can change it back to Fire Blast if you want to run that, but I've had more success with Flamethrower because I missed a lot of Fire Blasts. Now, yeah, we'll keep that. Let's keep Tapu Koko. Let's keep Tapu Koko here. Let's keep Scizor. I do like Scizor for this team. Good defogger. I think what we can do is also keep Landorus because, yeah, let's keep Landorus because it's a good stealth rocker and gives us Volturn and stuff with the other members of the team. I do want to change the EV spread a little bit from, let's put this at 208, and then let's put this at, because I think the standard Landorus runs like 223 with HPI so that it can be faster than 222. So I like to run 224 to be faster than those, with the nature, of course, being impish. Great, so now, what are we gonna do here? So I definitely noticed that Azu was kind of a threat to this team because Azumarill, especially the Belly Drum Azu, puts in a lot of work. Scizor is a bulky set, so it doesn't really dish much damage out to it. And Hydreigon can't really deal with Azu either. So what I figured doing was replacing this Greninja for something kind of similar, I guess. Not really that similar, but something that can actually deal with Azu while also keeping the synergy of the team intact. We got here Volcanion. And Volcanion's cool. We're going to run a Shucka Berry on it because then it can also check like Landorus and stuff. Even like Mega Swampert in the rain. We got Steam Eruption, Fire Blast, Sludge Wave, which actually deals with Azu really well. Sludge Bomb is another option too because we have Fire Blast, but I do like Sludge Wave because of more damage. And Earth Power. So there we go. We got ourselves here a nice Volcanion. Bulky attacker. Well, not really bulk. It has good natural bulk. I'm not adding any extra bulk here. We'll go with Modest Nature because we want to hit hard with this thing. As hard as we can because we're not choice specs. So there we go, we have ourselves here a Volcanion for this team, looking kind of crisp. And now I think what we're going to do here is make this team a true abuser of the Tapu Koko Volturn. We're going to replace this Tornadus here for an Alolan Raichu. And I definitely think this is the best decision for this team because this actually makes this team so threatening with the set that I'm going to give you, of course. We got here the Alolan Raichu Z with Thunderbolt. And that, of course, will make the Z move into Stoke Spark Surfer, which is really powerful, 100% para. It's like a much more powerful Zap Cannon. So that's so cool. Side Shock in order for us to break through stall like Chansey and stuff. As you'll soon see, we got Hidden Power Fire now, which does deal with Ferrothorn. We do get, I guess, wall. No, we don't get wall by Heatran. No, HP Fire is cool. HP Fire is really cool. We don't have to run Focus Blast because I feel like that misses a lot. And HP Fire will OHKO Ferrothorn after a nasty plot. So there we have it. We have here Alolan Raichu on this team. And I'm actually going to go with Modest Nature because we get our speed doubled from Surge, Surfer, Electric Terrain. So I think Modest Nature is the way to go here. And with that being said, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this Tapu Koko and we're going to give it a Terrain Extender. So that, kind of like the Damp Rock of Rain, or the Damp Rock of the Electric Terrain, I guess is the analogy I'm trying to give here. We got Terrain Extender, which allows Raichu to be more of a threat on the field for a longer period of time. And with Volturn and stuff going on, we'll be able to get in Raichu relatively easily, I feel, with this team. And this team puts in a lot of work. This is also one of my favorite ones for this episode, I feel, because while laddering with this team, I destroyed so many of these OLT players with this team. It's so much fun with Volturn Raichu, and this Raichu puts in a lot of work. Like I said, you know, this thing is literally the bread and butter of this team. This Raichu here will carry this team. It is so fun. Nasty Plot Raichu. So this actually kind of does break stall pretty well, unless they're like Quagsire stall, in which case, you know, just Steamer up the way, I guess. But you don't usually see Quagsire anymore, I feel. Like, feel free to, if you're worried about Quagsire, feel free to run, like, I don't know, Grass Knot over Nasty Plot if you want, or not Grass Knot over HP Fire. There's a lot of options you can do, or even like on Volcanion, you can run HP Grass on something. So yeah, it's basically what you feel more comfortable with, but I think that the basis of this team is pretty set. I like this a lot. I think what we're going to do here, though, is I want to put U-Turn on it because in case of a ground type, we don't want our momentum to be short-lived. So I think U-Turn, yeah, Vulture's Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam U-Turn is the way to go for this one because that just allows us never get stopped by a ground type trying to don't block our Volturn. And yeah, there we go. So that we got the team here. We got Volturn going on with these guys here, and then like two recipients you can just pass, like just Volturn into like Volcanion, get a big hit off on something, or Volturn into Raichu, destroy something. It's so cool. It's such a cool team. So yeah, this is gonna be the team for this one. So hope you enjoy it, my man. And yeah, this is a cool one. I like it. I don't think I missed anything. So let's go ahead and hop on over to team number 4. Here we go. Okay, so now we are here with team number 4. All right, so this is we're getting further. We're getting further now. We got 3 pimp squads already. They're looking pretty nice. Now let's see what we can do with this one here. We got ourselves an Arcanine squad from Sapphire Overlord. We got an Arcanine squad here. We got Mega Pincer, Keldeo, Tentacruel, Tapu Lele, and a Weavile. Looking nice. Looking pretty cool. I think the request was to keep both Arcanine and this Tentacruel here, so we're gonna do just that. Now, taking a look at this team, right? I see electric weakness, electric weakness, electric weakness, no immunities, no resistances, so we gotta patch that up a little bit. I mean, I think this Arcanine set's like a double set, so I think we want to maybe want to change that. I think because I think Snarl and Arcanine not too useful in singles unless you're running like Snarl, Mega Sableye or something, or I don't know. I think we can definitely optimize this set a bit. The Tentacruel set's cool. I like it. Avee Tentacruel is one of my favorite sets to use on Tentacruel itself, so it's cool. Mega Pincer, So I can see you're running Tapu Lele plus Mega Pincer, which is why you're kind of restricted not to run priority. So I do want to change that a bit. I think Mega Pincer functions really well with priority quick attack with you know, its ability when it mega evolves aerialate. So we'll try to make this team fit all together, because I feel like, like I said, you know, you're running no quick attack on this because you have Tapu Lele, but then you have Ice Shard on Weavile, so it doesn't really make too much sense to me, I guess. So let's remodel this team a little bit, and you know, let's make it heat. Let's make it better. All right, let's make it really cool. Let's go ahead and keep Arcanine with Flare Blitz. I think that's cool. Defensive Arcanine is really nice. It checks Mega Lopunny really well. So I definitely want to keep that around. We are going to go with E-Speed here. We're going to replace Tapu Lele for something else. And we'll go with Will-O-Wisp and Morning Sun. So pretty similar set. Overall, pretty similar set. It's just we're not running Snarl, I guess. We're going to run 216. I do want to run some speed on this thing, so that we can at least be faster than like Adamant Bisharp and stuff, which you do see sometimes. So like base, what is it? Is it base 60? I think so, something like that. And we'll go with a Impish Nature for this thing, because giving it a good amount of bulk with Intimidate is going to be really nice. So that's a cool Arcanine set we're going to run with here. Next Pokemon is going to be Tentacruel. We're going to keep, I think we can just keep all the moves the same. I do like all the moves, definitely. So I think what we're going to just do is change the EV spread up a bit. I think you have a good amount of Spadef as it is, and we don't need to invest too much into it, even though we kind of will. Gonna run a Calm Nature here, and I think we can dump some into defense. I think dumping some into defense is good. 136, so we can hit 200 exactly, and then we have 16 remaining. So we also hit 240, that nice 240 benchmark, which I do like a lot. Now for Mega Pincer, which we are also going to keep here, I want to keep Swords Dance, return close combat. I want to swap Earthquake for for quick attack. I think that's going to be nice, because like quick attack it's good priority, and with Swords Dance we get that nice boost for that, so we can't let it go to waste here. I think quick attack is a great option. I do see Moxie, but I think I do like Hyper Cutter better because of the fact that it allows us to avoid Intimidate from like Landers and things like that. I know like Moxie is another option, which is cool because you can get a boost after you knock out something, but because you didn't have quick attack in the first place, I think that would have been much harder to pull off. I think either way, you know, Hyper Cutter is a great option because you set up a Swords Dance as Lander switches in, and you're at +2 still, so you don't get intimidated because of Hyper Cutter. So I think that's, in that way, it's really nice. So we're gonna go with that. Now what we're gonna do here is looking at your team right now. Keldeo cool. It's Icy Z, which I just noticed now. It's cool, but I think we can replace it with a different Z move. So like I said, right, or with a different Z-Mon. Like I said, because of Tapu Lele conflicting with the terrain and just the way these Mons are supposed to be, we're going to go with Tapu Bulu because that's pretty nice. It weakens ground type hits, firstly, because that's great for Tentacruel and Arcanine, which your team is built around. So the ground type moves will be weakened, allowing you to maybe be able to survive better. So that could be useful. That could be really useful. And we're just going to go here with a Tapu Bulu. We're going to go with a Swords Dance, sort of wall breaker, stall breaker kind of thing. Like Z-Move Bulu is one of my favorite stall breakers because it breaks stall. When you tell it to break stall, it breaks stall. We're gonna go with Horn Leech, Stone Edge, and yeah, with Rocky MZ here. I do like to alternate sometimes between Fight EMZ with this thing and Superpower, and then also like with Rocky MZ and Stone Edge. So feel free to try out whichever one you like better. So I think for this one we're going to go with a Adamant Nature because we want this thing to hit hard. We want this thing to hit as hard as possible. Let's see, how much speed do we need? Maybe like this much is good for 244. Allows us to outrun max speed like regular Tar. And things like that. 24 for our Spadef, I guess, just to dump it into this thing so that we can maybe take hits a little bit better on the special side. So anyways, now that we have our Tapu Bulu here, which actually supports the team really well, and that's one of the reasons why I replaced Earthquake from Mega Pincer, because Bulu in mind, keeping Bulu in mind, Earthquake ground type attacks are weakened, so I do like this a lot. We don't want Tapu Lele to conflict with the terrain, so we are going to get rid of it. I think in its place, I do want to keep, I do want to firstly replace Weavile. I think for this kind of team specifically, which like where we have Tentacruel, which doesn't have reliable recovery. Bulu maybe it doesn't have reliable recovery other than Hornleech. Pincer might get like status at some point, or we may need to heal it up a bit. I think instead of Weavile, a really cool dark type Pokemon that works really well in this meta game so far, or right now, is Umbreon. And I do like Umbreon a lot on this team because it actually helps the team support out a lot. And we got Heal Bell here, which can cure status. We got Wish, which can heal the team up. We can Protect here to scout moves, and this Pokemon is really nice. The Pokemon is really nice. Foul Play, being able to attack physical attackers really hard, preventing them from setting up, because if they do, damage output versus them is enormous. So we got here a very bulky sort of mixed defensive spread, which super useful in order to take hits on both sides. And there we have it, our Umbreon on this team. I do think this squad is getting pimped really well. And finally, we might need a little bit of speed on this team. I do like a sort of maybe fast, sort of maybe semi-fast electric type. I think it'll be pretty fun instead of Tapu Lele, because we got a fairy type. You know, we don't really need a steel type because Umbreon is kind of a sponge, like an all-around everything sponge, I guess. And then we have like Tentacruel and Arcanine kind of supporting the team too. So I think instead of Tapu Lele, we're gonna replace it with a Xurkitree, which you don't see often at all. A really cool mon, and we're gonna give it a Choice Scarf with Beast Boost. So we got Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, and Energy Ball, which I think will be really cool for this team. And there we have it. So we got a fast electric type here. It can give us momentum into different Pokemon. We got Bulu that can break stall. We got Tentacruel that can sponge hits, so we're not weak to like rain or anything. We got Arcanine that intimidates stuff. Good Pokemon to deal with a lot of the fighting types, like for instance Mega Lopunny, and then versus like Mega Medicham, which can also kind of be a threat. We got like Pincer that it has priority quick attack. It's naturally faster. We got Xurkitree, which is good speed. So this team has it all, except for the fact is, let me just point this out real quick. This is an example. Like usually I don't usually condone teams in like competitive laddering and stuff like that to not run Stealth Rocks on it. This is an example of a team that I've actually tested, and I've proven that this team can work without Stealth Rocks. This team does not need Stealth Rocks on it, and it works just fine without it. You have hazard control to prevent hazards on your side. That's all you need. That is all you need. If you really want Stealth Rocks, feel free to replace like Quick Attack with it, I guess, on this thing, but you don't need it. You don't need it. From what I've tested, Stealth Rocks are not, they're not needed on this team. This team works just fine without them. Because of I feel like it's because of the fact that you have like you have support from like Rocky Helmet, Wisp, and stuff like that to chip away at a Pokemon, and you have just really hard setup sweepers with like Pincer and Bulu and stuff, that Stealth Rocks really just don't even like matter too much, setting them up and things like that. So yeah, feel free to try this team out. This is a really fun one. Hope you like it. I think it's a lot more solid than it was before, and I think that it'll do well. This is another of my favorite teams too, alongside the Raichu one, the one that we just pimped last for the last team that we just did. So this is a cool one. So yeah, this is a nice team. So let's just go ahead and move on to team number 5. Okay, team number 5. We got a team from Raikou 2. We have here Mega Mane, Landorus, Therian, Greninja, Jirachi, Pelipper, and Manaphy. So it started looking like a Volturn team, right? Then it was like, ooh, we got rain on this team. And I think the request was to keep Manaphy and to make Manaphy put in work. So the team is built around the Z-move Manaphy. So what we're going to do here, we're going to move Pelipper up as well. I want to keep Manaphy and Pelipper. I think the main issues that this team might have is it's a cool rain team, but like I feel like the rain isn't really going to be doing much, especially since you don't have rain abusers. I feel like this team is cool, but like it can be better for sure. It can definitely be improved on. And I think also versus like opposing rain teams could be a bit of an issue since I feel like other rain teams like that actually do have Swift Swimmers on them will outpace this team pretty easily. Another thing is that opposing Ferrothorn, I think he this person even noted in the placement that he gave me, or like in the comments or whatever, that He also has trouble with Ferrothorn, and I can definitely see that because the only way of dealing with it is the flamethrower on Manectric, but that's gonna be weakened in the rain, so that's definitely something we gotta patch up as well. And I have some good ideas for you. Definitely have some good ideas. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I want to keep Manaphy and Pelipper. Let's go ahead and like optimize this Manaphy set first of all. And the way that I want to do that is, like I said, I mean, we're not going to change Manaphy's, like the Pokemon itself. We're going to keep it. But I think that the best way to optimize this Manaphy, especially if we're making it on a rain team, is to go with Surf. We'll already have it here, but I just want to reorder it. I'm going to go with Psychic Surf. And no, please. Surf, Psychic. And we're going to go with, of course, Tail Glow. Usually, right? Usually you see this Manaphy set here with like Surf, Psychic, Tail Glow, and then you see Rain Dance here. But we have Rain. So what are we going to replace it with? We're going to replace it with Rest. And in this way, this Manaphy set is going to be able to set up. It's going to have Rain going on here. Pokemon like Chansey or whatever can't status it. And we're just going to, well, I mean, it would not have been able to do it anyways because of hydration. But we have the longevity now with Rest, which means that we can set up, we can heal up. This thing becomes more of a threat. This thing becomes more of a nuisance to your opponent because now like they not only can't status you, but now like you're gonna be healing up with this thing. So, and with the Water EMZ, that's a cool way of using like Surf now because now you don't have to go for Z Rain Dance. You can just Tail Glow up. You have the Z move for this thing, so that's cool and really powerful. So very nice. I think this is a cool way of this actually kind of also breaks stall too. I'm pretty sure because like Rain Dance, Tail Glow, Water EMZ, Surf with Rest. I'm pretty sure that's a good, if not wall breaker, it can kind of break stall, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, that's the first Pokemon we got here. Next we got a Pelipper, so I do like this Pelipper set. We're going to keep it exactly the same. I think we're going to add Hurricane because we're going to be adding a little bit of water spam to this team. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit of water spam to this team. Instead of Greninja, I think we'll add a Pokemon that can have some Swift Swim, but we'll make it unique. We'll make it a unique one at that. So we're going to go U-turn Hurricane. I do like Hurricane because we're going to have other water moves in this team. And I do want to give it a bit of a mixed defense here. So we're going to go with 116 and 144. This way we can not just die to any special attack. We can maybe take hits a little bit better on that side, but also have a good defense on this thing. And yeah, we got Manaphy, Pelipper on this team. I think what I want to do next is I want to replace Mega Mane. I feel like Mega Mane's a cool mon and stuff, but it's I think Tapu Koko is overall a better mon this gen. If not, well, it's just a more reliable mon on Rain. I feel just doing more damage, being able to have momentum with U-turn as well and things like that. And I don't know, it's a cool mon. I think it's and it gives us an opportunity to give us a new Mega. So I think I'm gonna first put Tapu Koko here because it will give us a new Mega that will allow us to beat down Ferrothorn, and I have a good idea for what that's gonna be. We're gonna go here with Volt Switch, Thunder. I do like Thunder a lot. In Rain, Dazzling Gleam, and Hidden Power, Ice. And yeah, we'll go with this spread here. The item is up to you. I've tried a lot of items. I've tried like Life Orb, I've tried Choice Specs, I've tried Magnets. I think Magnet's another cool option. Another one you could even try is like Expert Belt. That's a cool one because Expert Belt deals more damage to like lenders with it. It deals more damage to everything you hit super effectively, which is cool. And I mean, you could also just put like a magnet on this if you want. That also works. I mean, either like item is very flexible. It's very, very flexible on this thing, but I'll just keep it as Expert Belt for now. So next Pokemon we're gonna add here is gonna be able to break down Pokemon such as, you know, Ferrothorn, for instance. So let's go ahead and add a Mega Heracross. You remember from like X and Y, they had like Mega Heracross Rain, but this is gonna be Sun and Moon Mega Heracross Rain, which I don't know if it's been done yet, but here we go. We got the pre-ability is gonna be, let's put it as Moxie. I think is gonna be fun because we can get a boost maybe on something. We're gonna go with Close Combat and Pin Missile and Rock Blast, and to break through walls we're gonna run Swords Dance on this thing. So Ferrothorn, come at us right now, Ferrothorn. Let me see what you got. So let's go with a much bulkier spread, I guess, because I do like this thing to be able to take hits a little bit maybe while also dealing a lot of good damage. So I think I like Jolly better. There we go. So we got a Jolly SD Heracross, which is faster than whatever like Pokemon set themselves to 264, like for instance Bulky Chomp and things like that. So yeah, there we go. Now the next Pokemon I want to add is a way in order for us to help us out versus Rain. And we're gonna go ahead here and add a Ferrothorn. Gives us rocks as well. I think it's better than Jirachi because it actually is a way to beat other Rain teams. So it can help us out versus other Rain teams. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with Stealth Rocks, Gyro Ball, Power Whip, and Leech Seed. Should be fine with I like Chapel Berry because it allows us to check Keldeo as well, because with Power Whip and being able to eat up a Chapel Berry versus like a Secret Sword. Also like versus Mega Medicham, pretty sure we could take a high jump kick with our Chapel Berry and like Mega Lopunny as well. Let's go with max HP, almost max BDF, 8 defense with like Relaxed Nature. So there we go. Got a nice Ferrothorn here, which can put in some good work. Alright, so final Pokemon we're going to add here is a Pokemon, like I like Greninja a lot. Greninja is a cool mon, but I think since we're running a Rain team, might as well make it something even stronger and more potent than a Greninja on a Rain team. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to run the Lord itself, Seismitoad, in the rain. We got Life Orb Seismitoad in the rain. Hit him up with that Surf. A lot of damage to 2 KO's Mew. Earth Power. Destroys Tapu Koko and stuff. Sludge Wave for like Azu and things like that. As well as like even Tapu Bulu. I think we'll destroy Tapu Bulu. And Grass. I like Grass Knot because it also helps us deal with like other Seismitoads or Gastrodons or anything like that. Even like Mega Swamperts on opposing teams. But yeah, last move slot is flexible. Feel free to try anything you want on that. And we can go here with Timid Nature, I think is what we have to run. And I think Timid Nature is cool because it actually outruns Scarf Kartana and destroys it with like Surf or Earth Power. So that's going to be the team here. This is a really fun Rain team. And with Manaphy as a sweeper, with Seismitoad as a backup sort of cleaner, we got what is this? Mega Heracross for wall breaking, Ferrothorn for rocks, Tapu Koko for that nice momentum, Volturn with Pelipper. Cool team, very cool team for sure, and I hope you enjoy it. And with that being said, I think that's it for this one. Let me know if you have any questions, and on to team number 6. We're halfway done. So hope you all are enjoying so far. Don't forget to show your support. Drop a like. I don't usually say that, but this is definitely a big episode here. So let's go on to the next one, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're here for team number 6. We are gonna be pimping this nice Mega Zam squad. So we got Mega Zam, or we got a team from Ori Milberg, we got Mega Zam, we got Landers, Therian, Magearna, Skarmory, Tapu Koko, and Tapu Lele. So this is a psychic spam team according to him. So he does want us to keep Zam plus Tapu Lele on the team. And yeah, so we're gonna keep those two on the same team, of course. Now here's the thing. With this kind of team, right? So I'm looking at it right now. It's a cool team. It is pretty weak to water type attacks. Like we don't have any sort of water type resistance on the team, which we're probably gonna need. So we're gonna be pimping this squad in order to help us out with that. Like for instance, something like a Rain, and then you got like a Kingdra or like a Mega Swampert or something. It's just gonna run through the 6. So we gotta watch out for that. I think another big threat to this team is yeah, I think mainly just water types that we gotta watch out for. Other than that, I think it's a pretty nice team, but yeah, it's a big thing we gotta watch out. It's a pretty big thing. Also, fire type attacks. Where's our fire resist here? I think it's only like what, Landers like take a physical attack, but like Zard Y, like what we got for Zard Y? I guess like we could check it, but that's it. So we'll patch it up a bit so that we can deal with it. So let's first take a look at the sets we got here. So we got Mega Zam with 4 attacks. I think what I want to do first is I want to put some stall breakers, or like Pokemon that can shut down stall. Maybe we'll do it with like Tapu Lele. But I think for Zam, let's make this Zam set more of a threat. Let's make this thing a big threat right now. I want Zam to come out and I want people to be scared. So I'm gonna run Psychic Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, and Calm Mind. And that's gonna be scary because this thing deals really well in terms of if it sets up a Calm Mind and under the Psychic terrain, this thing becomes a monster with Psychic, so we're gonna keep it like that. With Tapu Lele, I think Choice Specs is cool, but if we want to beat Stall, which we do want to do, I'm gonna put a Shed Shell on it. I'm gonna put Shed Shell because if usually Stall runs like Dugtrio or something to trap the Pokemon that try to Stall Break. So we're gonna do Shed Shell with Taunt on this thing. I do like Timid Nature just because of the extra speed is nice to outrun certain stuff on faster teams, I guess. But anyways, this is a cool set here which we're gonna run. I think this works really well. So we got our 2 Pokemon that we're gonna be keeping on the team, Megazam and Tapu Lele for the Psychic spam. I think what I want to also do is keep the Landorus. I think the Landorus we can also keep, and we can keep it exactly the same, I think, except for this EV spread here, which we are going to change. We want this thing to be fast. When you're running this kind of set here, you want this thing to be fast, so that it can take out a lot of big threats. Like with this now, like we can outrun things, so we can just hit them up with like Flying Emvee. It's so good. But we definitely don't want to be slow with that, so we'll run a faster Landorus here. So we're going to keep these 3 mons, pretty much half the team right there. Next, what we're going to do is add a Pokemon that can sponge water hits, fire hits. We're going to add one of my favorite Assault Vest sets of all time. Instead of Magearna, we're going to add here Goodra, Assault Vest Goodra. And it's going to be Assault Vest. This Assault Vest Goodra here is going to be a huge lure. Okay, so basically, another thing that I forgot to mention with this team, it's also kind of weak to Volcarona. I guess your only check is this Brave Bird, Scarf Brave Bird, but that is it, I think. So we want to be able to check Volcarona as well. This Goodra set's going to do just that. Let me show you here, alright, what we got here. So we got Power Whip, which is the lure for like water type, like Tapu Fini and stuff like that. We got the Steel type lure for Scizors and stuff with Fire Punch. We got the Heatran lure with this Earthquake, and we got the Zardwai Volcarona thing with this Rock Slide. The check to that. So there we go. Now we'll add an EV spread here of 192. We got max attack here. We're gonna run Adamant Nature, so we're taking full abuse of the Sap Sipper. We're taking full abuse of the Sap Sipper here. We get a +1 attack from a Leech Seed, maybe from Celesteela or from like Ferrothorn. Maybe like a Giga Drain or a Hornleaf from Bulu or something, I don't even know. And we get a +1 attack. Then we have this physical move pool to have some fun with. So this is nice. This is really nice. Let me finish the EV spread here. 8 and then 56 puts us at 210, which is faster than A-Speed Rotom. And there we go. So we got ourselves here an Assault Vest Goodra, which is pretty fun. And it actually can check a lot of things pretty well. Like it puts in so much work, and a lot of people are unprepared for it. I remember I think I faced like some pretty good people on the ladder with this set, and it took them all by surprise. I'll just say that right now. So next we're gonna do here is I think let's add a Pokemon. I like Scarf Tapu Koko a lot, but I think a better Pokemon for this kind of team, which can also help us out a lot with like Volt. It has really good momentum. Is gonna be Rotom Wash. I think you don't really see Rotom Wash too often lately, but I think this Choice Scarf Rotom Wash is actually really good. It also it takes a lot of Pokemon like Greninja by surprise sometimes, like Ash Greninja, Battle Bond sets. So let's run Volt Switch here, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, and Trick. This is a fun set for sure. I think it works with this team specifically a lot better. Plus, I wanted to replace Tapu Koko from the beginning because of the fact that electric terrain, and when you're running a Psychic spam theme team, you don't really want like another terrain sort of like getting in the way of that. So I think just sticking to one terrain is going to be what we're going to be doing here, instead of keeping like a Tapu Koko, which will also like kind of mess up your Alakazam Psychic terrain. So we want there to be one terrain on this team. So that's why we're running a Rotom Wash here, which is really cool. So I think this is nice because it also checks Gyarados. Like +1 Gyarados were faster than we can Volt Switch out. It's a cool set, and it takes a lot of mons by surprise. And it could trick things too. Like if you guys saw that one live that I did with Scarf Rotom, I tricked so many Zygardes. It went for Sub Recoil or something, or like any move like that. We trick it and it's gone. it's over. And I think the last Pokemon we're gonna add here is a Pokemon that makes us less weak to Zygarde, because we're running like Landorus is kind of the only check we have to it, and maybe like Tapu Lele if it's not already set up. Like if it's D-Dance Zygarde, it's a big threat. So, well, not really just Zygarde. Yeah, like mainly like D-Den Zygarde. I guess Coil Zygarde not much of a threat because we can trick it at some point. We have Mega Zam, which is faster. If it has like E-Speed, we block it with a priority with Psychic Surge. So I'm not too worried about that at all. Mainly like something like D-Den Zygarde, right? It could be a bit of a nuisance, I guess. Even like Azu can kind of sort of be a little bit of a nuisance. Not as much, I guess, but I want to replace Skarmory for something less 1000 arrows weak. And by doing that, I'm going to replace Skarmory for Fortress, which is a really interesting mod, and it actually works really well on this team because we're going to run a Rocky Helmet on this thing. Give it a Rocky Helmet. Sturdy we got here. We're going to go Gyro Ball. I was tempted to run like HP Ice on this thing, but I think Gyro Ball still does a good amount either way. Rapid Spin and Stealth Rocks. No, we're not we're not doing double team strats out here. All right, so yeah, we got almost max HP, 172 defense, 88 SPDF. My voice is getting hoarse now from talking all this time. My voice is getting hoarse. All right, so yeah, there we go. Relaxed nature here so that Gyro Ball can do a good amount of damage, and that's gonna be the set we got here for this thing. It's a good spinner. It checks a lot of physical attackers, puts in some good work, and good momentum with Volt Switch. Gives us Volt Switch with Rotom and this thing into bigger threats like Tapu Lele and Alakazam. So that is going to be the team number 6. Hope you like it. I think it's much better in dealing with fire, water stuff, and just threats in general. Beats Stall pretty well, and even like offense, Mega Zam is so cool. So that's going to be the team. Let's go ahead and hop on to team number 7. Okay, now we are on team number 7. We got a team here from Rock the House 1. We got Vaporeon, which is the Pokemon they want to keep on the team for sure, as well as a Bulu. So we're going to move that up here. They also got a Heatran, which is for stealth rocking purposes. They got a Garchomp, which is Life Orb. Swords Dance Life Orb, pretty nice. Defogging, Zapdos, and a Muk for Pursuit Trapping. So cool team overall. Is a cool team, yeah. I like the team a lot. I feel like everything synergizes pretty well. I think though that we can make some of the sets a bit more optimal. If Vaporeon, I feel like he can put in a lot more work, provided that the team, I guess, is built in a way where it really benefits from Vaporeon. Because I feel like a lot of these sets here, they're like offensive sets. I think Vaporeon's cool to like wish stuff up, but I think we can make it a little like we can make the sets more optimal. Firstly, secondly, because of a lot of the new megas that have come out, like Dancy, for instance. Dancy is a big threat to this team. Mega Dancy is a huge threat to this team, I guess. Like Vaporeon could probably sponge hits pretty well, but like, especially like I've seen some combine sets lately, and like with Earth Power and things, it could be annoying. It could be definitely annoying for this team. With Muk being the only sort of sponge which can't really do much back, I guess, other than maybe clicking Gunk Shot. But maybe like also Mega Altaria can kind of be a threat. I usually don't see it too often, but I think yeah, Altaria can be a threat if it has like Earthquake and stuff. What else? Yeah, I think yeah, maybe we could try to make it better here by adding Pokemon that can do well. Like even like, yeah, like I guess not too many threats as compared to some of the other teams we pimped. But I think what I want to do here is change this Vaporeon set just a little bit. I don't think I think we can just run this this spread here. Nothing too fancy, I don't think this time. And I think Heal Bell is going to be nice because this team is kind of a little bit prone to status. Garchomp getting burned, or I guess Zapdos maybe getting toxic, or Muk getting burned, or Bulu getting burned by Scald or something. So I think Heal Bell is going to be nice for this team in terms of getting rid of status. I also think that this Bulu can be changed into a Fight EMZ this time. So on one of the other teams, you ran a Rock EMZ for it. This time we'll run Fight EMZ. I think it goes really, really well with Vaporeon. The two of these together put in a lot more work. I feel like Scarf is cool, but alongside Vaporeon, this is a much more optimal sort of way of going about this set here. So we're gonna go with a Swords Dance. Yep, Swords Dance with Sub. And we got Superpower. I like putting the stat moves on the top. It's just me. I don't know if it's anybody else, but I just like ordering it like this with the stat move on the top. And we got this spread here. I'm gonna run a bit fast. I don't think we need 273. I think we just need 240, I think. What are we trying to outrun? I think, yeah, this is fine. 240 is good. Because then we outrun everything 269 and below. Yeah, there we go. We'll just run this. And yeah, so now what we can do here is I want to also keep Chomp. I like Chomp a lot. I do also like Zapdos. I think it's cool for this team. So I'll move that up as well. For Chomp, I think what we can do here, because I think HP Ground Volcarona can kind of be annoying for this team. It can kind of be annoying for this team, especially since, well, your only way of dealing with it is hitting gunk shots on it with Muck. But yeah, HP Ground could be annoying a little bit. So I think what we can do here is, and like Muck gets worn down pretty quickly. Somebody like smart player sets up later, it's gonna be an issue, especially when Muck gets worn. So let's make this thing Choice Scarf Chomp. I think Choice Scarf is gonna be good for this team because you'll be able to check a lot of different mons, like +1 Charizard X, Volcarona +1. So yeah, that'll be nice. It was Stone Edge here. And I think we can probably we can go with Fire Blast. I think should be fine. Maybe I think Fire Blast is a good option. Poison Jab is another option. Like you could stick with Poison Jab there too, for sure. You could stick with Poison Jab, but I do like Fire Blast because it helps us out versus like Scizor and stuff. It's a cool option, I think. Let's just move this over here in the order I want to talk about things. So now, yeah, we have our Choice Scarf Chomp, which is cool. Now we have Zapdos, which I think we're gonna keep exactly the same, except for the EV spread. I do like a more defensive Zapdos because it helps us out versus flying type attacks, like from physical side. And yeah, let's go like 248, 228, and 32 speed def, I think. Oh yeah, 32 speed. Yeah, there we go. So this is cool. It's nice, and I think we can go with a Volt Switch here for momentum purposes. So yeah, this is cool. I like this a lot. So we have support from Vaporeon, which is great for like a Scarf Chomp, which it does appreciate Vaporeon's wishing it up and stuff for Bulu and for Zapdos. Now, actually, yeah, I'm gonna put it here. I want to replace Heatran for a really cool Steel type mon that actually deals really well with all sorts of Pokemon, like fairy types, just like special attackers, even some like physical attackers here and there. I like Registeel a lot for this team, and it functions so well with Vaporeon in terms of wishing things back up. Registeel is a tough mon to kill. It is a tough mon to kill, and it does exactly what we want it to do, which is you know, wear stuff down with Toxic. One of the reasons I wanted Heal Bell and Vaporeon, which I felt was really useful for the team, is because I was gonna replace Toxic for another to give it to another mon here. So this is a really fun way of using this Pokemon, and Registeel is really like, I love using Registeel a lot. I love using it a lot, and it's just such a good Pokemon, especially in this generation where you have like Ash Greninja, you have like Greninja and stuff coming in trying to wear you, like trying to punch holes through your team. Let's see how it punches through this thing, because Registeel is so good. It's such a cool mon. Works really well with the team in terms of synergy. Look at this thing. It'll check Tapu Lele really well. Like it can take a Focus Blast, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this is fun. This is a fun set here. Last mon that I want to change now that we got rid of Heatran, I want to put a mon that actually just sort of seals the team up and gives it a kind of theme. You know, we got like we got Protect on like 2 mons. We got Sub on this thing. Like we can wear stuff down over time. Let's give you the ultimate Pokemon. I repeat, the ultimate Pokemon of spreading poison, okay? We're gonna go with a Salazzle. Because we have Registeel, we don't really need Muck in terms of, like, Muck is a cool mon. It can sponge hits really well, but Registeel does it too. Registeel can do that. We can go with a Salazzle with Black Sludge, Corrosion Salazzle with Flamethrower. You can also with Fire Blast if you want more damage. Toxic, Sub, Protect. This thing will poison everything. This thing will poison literally everything. And this is the EV spread we're going to go with here. So, cool set here. It actually can sub up, and then it can Toxic like Heatrans, Ferrothorn, Skarmories. everything. It poisons everything. You can stall things out with the toxic with Wish, Vaporeon. So this is the best way of using this thing, with if you can spread poison around. Like, I guess T-Spikes work too if you have a T-Spiker on a team, but T-Spikes aren't going to work versus flying type mons versus steel type mons. So how are you going to toxic stuff? You got a Salazzle here. The only way this thing's like, the only way a Pokemon's not getting poisoned is if they have Tapu Lele. And you know, oh, not Tapu Lele, if they have Tapu Fini. And you know what happens when they have Tapu Fini, right? You bring out this Tapu Bulu here, you start subbing up and setting up on it, and then it's over. So that's why I think this team goes so well together in terms of what it does. Like, we could get rid of hazards, we can you know, set up our own poison stuff. If there's a Tapu Fini in the field or something, Bulu can deal with it. Vaporeon can wish stuff back up. It's so nice. It's such a cool team, and did put in a lot of work for me in the ladder, and I do like this team a lot. So hope you do as well. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, let me know. But yeah, there we go. So there we go with this next team here. Doesn't even have a Mega Pokemon. Doesn't even need one. So yeah, on to team number 8. We'll be right back. Alright, so we got our next team here from DeFalco. We got here a Mega Absol squad. Looking nice, looking cool. Mega Absol, Mimikyu, Celesteela, Volcarona, Tapu Fini, Credilli. Alright, nice. So the request was to keep Mega Absol and Mimikyu on the same team, so that's what we're going to do. Keep them both Swords Dance, SD, double SD sweepers for this team, so we're going to do that. Now, taking a look at this team, I definitely think that Volturn's kind of annoying for this team. Volturn's kind of annoying, like Tapu Koko and stuff can be a bit of an issue. I don't think Credilli can do much. I mean, I guess it can check it pretty well. It can switch into it pretty well, but I think it's mainly not as much about the threats this team has, it's more like about the composition of the team. I feel like Absol, Mimikyu, like I definitely wanted to pimp this team because I think Absol is a cool mon, especially with Mimikyu together. Now, I just wanted to, I want to go ahead and say that I think this team definitely needs more offense because of the fact that I think Absol and Mimikyu together, they look like they work really, really well on a fast-paced offensive team. It's going to put in a lot more work. It's going to shine a lot more that way, which is, I'm sure, what you want to happen. So I think also we're going to have to add some Stealth Rocks for this team. I did note that you know, there are very few, there are some teams out there that can function really well without Stealth Rocks, but I think this team definitely needs it. So let's go ahead and keep Absol, Mimikyu. Let's get rid of these defensive mons here. We want fast-paced mons. We want to have a faster-paced team, or just a hard-hitting offensive team. So let's start off with these two here. Let's add a Stealth Rocker. Let's pimp this squad up. Let's pimp it up right now. Let's pimp this team. We're gonna add an Aerodactyl. Fast lead, taunt lead Aerodactyl with Focus Sash. This is what I like about this. We got Stone Edge, Earthquake, Taunt, and Stealth Rocks. So there we go. We got a nice fast Aerodactyl here with you know, being able to shut down hazard setters, being able to set up rocks really fast. Got the Focus Sash so we can live a turn. I like Unnerve because it actually stops berries or something. Like in case they have like a berry, like I don't know, citrus or something. If they belly drum or something, I don't even know. Could be useful. I think it's better than Rocket because we're not taking recoil anyways, or pressure because we're only going to be living for like 2 turns with this thing. So yeah, we got Absol, which can bounce back hazards. I also think that Knockoff is better than Megahorn for this case because we don't need this thing because we don't need Megahorn. We need Knockoff for sure because Sucker Punch is not always as reliable as Knockoff is. Knockoff is really good for this thing. So we are going to keep Knockoff on this. And we're also, I think, for Mimikyu, it's an interesting Woodhammer set, but I do want to put Shadow Claw, which I think is a lot better because it's more reliable stab. Otherwise, you'd probably get walled by like Ferrothorn, whereas Shadow Claw can actually deal some good damage to it. So Lumberry is cool. Another option you could try is Red Card, and I do like Red Card because of the fact that with this kind of team, when you set up a fast hazard, you got a Mimikyu here to set up. If somebody tries to attack you, they switch out. Could be useful because it could, firstly, it could give you another Swords Dance. Secondly, it could phase one of their Pokemon into a Stealth Rock weak Pokemon. Thirdly, it can help out a lot versus Pokemon that try to set up on you. Let's assume that a Pokemon tries to set up on you. They're maybe out of control or something. You have Mimikyu, which can either switch into it, or if they're already in, you know, they hit you once, they get phased out. So that's actually extremely useful. to prevent Pokemon from trying to set up on your offense. And I think that's going to be what we're going to run here. So next we're going to add a Magearna, because we need a check to Tapu Lele and stuff. I think Magearna does that really well. And we're just going to go here with Flare Cannon, Flash Cannon, Ice Beam, Volt Switch. And so I'm tempted to run. I've been tempted. I've been trying out either Eevee or Shucca Berry is another option that can work out pretty well on this kind of team. Shucca Berry is cool because it actually you can check Landers a lot better with it, but I feel like Eevee is better, just because of the fact that you are able to take hits a lot better from Tapu Lele, which I think is more important. I think it's more important to take special hits better with this thing. It's like special hits, this thing can take really well. So we'll go with Eevee this time, but you feel free to try Shucca Berry if you want. Like there's like different options. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to this, but you know, whatever's more comfortable for you, I guess. We'll go with yeah, nice, bulky, standard Tapu Lele spread. I do like this move choice slot here because Ice Beam can hit Landers, take it by surprise. Usually with Eevee, I don't know if you commonly see Ice Beam and Flare Cannon both, but they work pretty well. They work really nicely together. So we're gonna run with this squad, with this Tapu Lele set, this Magearna set. Oh my lord, it's getting late for me, guys. I do apologize if I jumble up my words, but yeah. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna add some more offense on this thing. We're gonna add here a Gyarados. I do like Gyarados a lot because it gives us a water check. Yeah. it allows us to set up on water type Pokemon, which our team, we don't have a water resist on this team, so Gyarados can do that pretty well. We're gonna run a Flynium Z set. And I do like this a lot because with Moxie Nature, of course, because it can set up, it can sweep so well. This thing can sweep really well. So we're gonna go Waterfall, Bounce, Earthquake, Dragon Dance. Really offensive set. So that's really nice. Puts in a lot of work. We'll go with Jolly Nature so we can be faster than, like, you know, Mega Man and stuff like that at +1. And our final Pokemon is gonna be we need a fast Pokemon. Firstly, we need a fast one. Secondly, we need an electric immunity because electric types will otherwise just Volt Switch and run through our team. So we're gonna add here a nice Garchomp, Scarf Chomp, Choice Scarf with Rough Skin, and Outrage, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Fire Blast. Love this set a lot. This is a good set, and it puts in a lot of work with this team. Helps us deal with a lot of the Pokemon that I mentioned in one of the previous teams when we had Scarf Chomp. A lot of the Pokemon that I mentioned, it deals with them really well, and it puts in a lot of work. So yeah, we're gonna run with that, and that's the team. This is gonna be a really fun one because it's a fast-paced, hyper offensively styled team. Yeah, very fast-paced, hyper offensively styled team, and yeah, you got a lot of checks. Yeah, like Mimikyu, Garchomp, Gyarados is a good setup sweeper, and yeah, it's a cool team. Feel free to try it out. You could swap. You can like do a lot of item switches here, so you can run like a Z move on Mimikyu sometimes, and then maybe put like Lumberry on Garchomp, or you know, feel free to like mix and match and stuff like that with items. Maybe Shucca Berry on this. Maybe yeah, just try it out and see how it goes. This team put in a lot of work for me as well on the ladder. I also tested it out. Tested out all the teams. So yeah, this is a cool one, and hope you like it. And with that being said, I don't think I missed anything. It's a very, very cool team. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and move on to team number 9. So we got 2 more left. Let's get it. Alright, so team number 9. We got a team here from Lucario. I like the pun on your name with Lucario. Not bad. We got a team with Clefable, Skarmory, Volcarona, Latios, Primeape, and a Mega Beedrill. So this is a cool team. He definitely wanted me to keep Primeape, so we're going to move that to the top. I also want to keep Mega Beedrill, because I feel like Primeape and Mega Beedrill go well together with momentum, so I definitely like that a lot. And I think a defogger such as Lati will be good for this team as well. So let's take a look at this team here. So some of the threats that I do notice are, for instance, or some of the nuisances that this team has to face are like Volt Switchers. We don't have a ground type on this team, and the only Pokemon capable of taking a Volt Switch is Lottie, and it doesn't even have recovery, so it's going to get worn down. I feel like, you know, something like Volturn is going to be really annoying for this team, like with the Volt Switch and U-turn and stuff, because the only Volt Switch recipient is Lottie, pretty much. And like this is offensive Clef, can't really tank things too well, so I definitely think a ground type is going to be necessary for this team, as well as a Pokemon that can also deal with Zygarde, because now, like, because we're running offensive Clef, can't really take hits too well from like Zygarde at all, so we have to maybe keep something that can deal with that, and also like Water Spam, I feel, because of the fact that Lottie is like, there's a lot of pressure on Lottie, and on this team there's a lot of pressure on Lottie. It's able, because it's pressure to take electric, it's pressure to take water, you know, because the other members of the team can't really handle it, so we have to sort of, I guess, compensate, not compensate, sort of like spread out, you know, the roles that each Pokemon has, so that one Pokemon isn't really overweight, like weighed down by any sort of kind of like responsibility that it has to do. So I think what we should do first, let's take a look at these Pokemon here. So I feel before we even get into the team of pimping the squad, let's just replace this with Stone Edge here. Gunk Shot for Stone Edge, I do like that better because of the fact that it actually helps us check Zard-Y a lot more. And Zard-Y is a pretty big threat as well, if you think about it, because Lottie's another Pokemon. See, it's really pressured on Lottie to take not only water, electric, but also fire, because look at this team. Like, the only fire Pokemon, the only Pokemon that can switch into a Zard-Y is Lottie, right? Because it's the only Pokemon resistant to fire. It's the only check to Zard-Y. But it doesn't have Roost either, so it's gonna get worn down pretty quickly. So I'm pretty sure you guys see my point here. But I think putting Stone Edge can check that really well. And for Beedrill, I while testing this team out, I noticed that the times that I went for Fell Stinger were very rare. I didn't really go for it too often. And when I did, and when I actually got a boost, another Pokemon came out that would force me out. So I think running knockoffs is a lot better, because it helps Beedrill out a lot. Gets rid of Choice Scarf, gets rid of Rocky Helmets, gets rid of all these kinds of items, makes Beedrill do his job a lot better, I feel. So I think knockoff is just a more, I guess, sensible move for this thing. Puts in a lot more work. And with Lottie here, we're not really needing Earthquake. I feel like mainly you'd run Earthquake Lottie if you're trying to lure Heatran or something for another member of the team in order to benefit from it. But like Primeape destroys Heatran, Beedrill's Drill Run destroys it, so like might as well run Recover, so that we can give Lottie that sort of longevity with his HP, so that it can actually heal up and it can be able to take more hits more often from the Pokemon like Zard-Y and things like that, and just makes it a lot better, makes it a lot more reliable. And I think instead of Life Orb chip damage each time, we can just run Soul Dew. It's like 1.2 over, it's 1.2 in comparison to 1.3 times more power. So I think this is going to be still fine. We're not going to be chipped down a lot, so Lottie can actually still have more sort of survivability on this team. Now, so let's talk about Clefable here. I feel like, so on paper it looks cool. You know, it can lure Lando, Gliscor, whatever. It can also lure like Scizor or Ferrothorn. However, its bulk is not that great with this thing. Like last gen Life Orb Clefable was actually pretty cool. It put in a lot more work than while testing it. I found that it didn't really put in much work this gen because of all the new Pokemon. All their power and stuff. So much more power in this gen. So Clefable was really just not being able to take the hits that it should have. So I think we should replace this thing. And what I want to do is, of course, alleviate some of the pressure from Lottie. Give it another Pokemon that can sponge water hits, and I don't mean like, I'm not going to put a standard Tapu Fini. I think what we should do is put something a little bit more heat. Let's put a Primarina on this team. And I'm thinking like we could run either AV or defensive on this thing for this team. I do like extra recovery for a Pokemon such as Primarina, which should be sponging hits really well. And I think to make this thing more of a nuisance for your opponent, let's go with Rocky Helmet with a more defensive set with Scald, Moonblast. So kind of the role that Clefable had, I guess, with recovery, but we want a Pokemon that can actually sponge hits better and still deal some good damage. So we'll go Rest Talk with Moonblast and Scald. I think it's an old set that like Janbat used to run back in the day when he first started playing Sun and Moon. I think it was one of his old lives, but yeah, this is a cool like Primarina set that still works nowadays from what I've tested. And yeah, so basically this set here, it takes hits a lot better, very bulky, and it actually deals good damage with like a base 126 special attack. Still checks Pokemon like Zygarde, Charizard X really well, and other Pokemon such as those. Greninja, except for of course Gunk Shot. It can take a Gunk Shot from Protean Greninja, I'm pretty sure. So, but it's nice. It's a really cool mon, and I definitely think it puts in work for the team overall. Now, the next Pokemon I want to add, of course, like I said at the beginning of this team number 9 squad that we're pimping now, is that we need a ground type, I feel, in order to deter Volt Switchers. So I want to replace the Skarmory for like a Landorus. I'll try to make it not so standard, like we're not going to run a Rocky Helmet Landorus with Stealth Rocks or like the standard Fly or Stone Edge Z move with 2 attacks and then SD Stealth Rocks. We're going to run, instead we're going to run 3 attacks. So we're going to run Earthquake Fly with Flynium Z. And where's the Flynium? Oh, there we go. And then we're going to run Smackdown. I like Smackdown a lot. I think I've seen more people run it nowadays. But it's cool because it actually is able to ground Pokemon such as, you know, Celesteela, Skarmory, etc. And we still hit extremely hard with the Z move and the Earthquake, and it's nice. It's really cool. I think it works well with this team. We're going to go ahead and give it Jolly. I like Jolly Nature because it puts you at a speed where you're faster than like base. Let me show you base Kyurem, which is like 289, and you're faster than base neutral base 100. So I'm talking about like neutral EVs. It's better to be faster, I feel. So there we go. And for the final Pokemon here, I feel like the great Pokemon that would just sort of put everything together with this team. So let me like explain my thought process before I name them on. I'm thinking, right, looking at it right now, Pokemon such as, you know, for instance, like Steel types can kind of be annoying for this team, especially ones that Primeape has a trouble breaking, like for instance Mega Scizor or Skarmory, things like that could be annoying for this team. So what I'm trying to get at is, I think Volcarona is a cool mon that can deal with those, right? But it can't necessarily keep them there, can't necessarily trap them. So I feel like a Pokemon such as Magnezone, and it gives us a Steel type too, which we don't currently have. Pokemon such as Magnezone is going to be really useful because it's actually going to be able to trap those mons, and it's going to put more, it's going to help Primeape and Beedrill put a lot more work in. And it's pretty much like when you're building a team, right? Pretty much when you're building a team and you're building around a certain mon or 2 mons or something, you essentially want to make sure that you pave the way for them to put in a lot of work. And by doing that, you have to eliminate or have other ways with other Pokemon to get rid of the threats or the Pokemon that stop them. So Magnezone can do just that. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's a good strategy. That's a good strategy to have when you're building teams, is to try to make, like, to try to see what Pokemon, like take a Pokemon you're building around, what's going to try to stop those mons, and then keep Pokemon on that team that can deal with those ways that stops your Pokemon that you're building around. So yeah, let's go with a Salvez Magnezone works well with the team. Another option is Choice Specs, but I do like Avee since we don't have it currently on the team. We go Flash Cannon, and we can go with Hidden Power Fire. Yeah, I do like Avee. Avee Magnezone is like a really cool mon. It's just so nice for the team. Alright, so let's go 136, 196, 176. So with 176 speed, we're faster than like Adamant, Max Speed, Azu, and stuff like that, and below. So we're automatically faster than Mega Scizor as well. The standard spreads at least. And we can go here with Modest Nature. So that's going to be the team, and it's looking really cool. I definitely think it's a cool team for sure. It's got nice Volturn. Now we actually have Volturn on this thing. We have Volt Switch on this, U-turn on that, U-turn on this. It's nice. We can pivot out into like Primarina, drop Dracos with Lati, destroy stuff with the Flynium Z Landorus. It's a really fun team, and I have been trying this out a lot. I do like this team a lot, and maybe I'll record a live with Primeape too. So it's a cool team. So hope you like it. And without further ado, on to team number 10, which is the last team that we got. So all right, let's see what we got this time. So we'll be right back. Okay, to wrap up episode 1 of Pimp My Squad, our team number 10 is going to be from Petit Ewok. We got here a nice Persian squad. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so with this team, right, he's got Alolan Persian, Golisopod, Magnezone, Toxapex, Landorus, and a Charizard. So I feel like we should maybe restructure this team so that Persian can actually support a team better for what it's worth. Like, we have Toxapex here, which is a fat mon. And I don't think Z Parting Shot Persian is worth running with Toxapex or just slow stuff in general. I guess like D-Dance Zard is cool with it. Like D-Dance Zard, like Magnezone's cool too. I like AV Mag. Traps like he traps Skarmory and Scizor and Ferrothorn and stuff. But it doesn't really make sense with Zard, I guess. Let's just go ahead and keep Persian Magnezone. I think we'll start it off with that for sure. So what are we gonna do here? I think so. I want to keep Magnezone for sure. I like Magnezone a lot on this team. I think for Persian we can maybe just sort of optimize this EV spread a little bit. I like 232 a lot in terms of HP, EV numbers. I like that. So there we go. We'll run with this. Magnezone, we'll switch it up a little bit. You definitely, for Magnezone, if you're running AV, you want enough speed to outrun Mega Scizor. That the basic Mega Scizor set, the standard Mega Scizor set that people run. You want to be faster than that, otherwise, you know, what's the point? You know, what's the point if you can't trap anything? 196. This should be fast. Yeah, this is definitely obviously faster than standard Mega Scizor, and it's 1 point faster than Max Speed Adamant Azu. So that's what we're gonna run here with a modest nature. So there we have it, and I found that instead of Golisopod, a mon that actually works really well. So I do like AV Mag. You could also run Choice Specs. Choice Specs is another option, but for this team, double AV. All right, we're gonna run AV Araquanid, and I think it works better than Golisopod because Golisopod, it forces you out a lot. Emergency Exit is so annoying, especially when you have like a Life Orb on that thing. It forces it out. Araquanid, on the other hand, benefits well with Persian's Parting Shot because firstly, it takes less damage from both physical and special side. When running an AV, it sponges hits pretty well. Secondly, Z Parting Shot here heals it up, so this thing becomes a big problem for our other teams. We're gonna go with Liquidation, Leech Life, Poison Jab. Last option is up to you. You could either run Mirror Coat, you know, and bounce back hits really well, or you could run Lunge. I kind of like Lunge because it lowers the attack every time you use it of another Pokemon, so they can't set up on you, and it's just cool. It's a cool move. You don't usually see it, I guess, too often, so Lunge can be fun to try out. Feel free to try out Mirror Coat as well. And anyways, got our first 3 mons here. Our Stealth Rocker. So we're gonna add some pretty fun Pokemon. Like Araquanid is a fun mon that I wanted to add on this team. I think, yeah, like the only request for this team was to keep Persian, I think, to make a team around Persian. So we're pimping a squad based around Persian here. We got a Magnezone the trap stuff, we got an Araquanid. We're gonna add a Pokemon that can benefit with Magnezone's trapping, and it's a new one that actually recently came out. So we're gonna add a Diancie here, Mega Diancie. It's gonna be our Stealth Rocker, so we're gonna add Moonblast, Diamond Storm, Earth Power, and Stealth Rocks. Now, because of the fact that you know, Mega Diancie, I think, yeah, Naive is better. Probably, I think Naive is probably better, maybe, than Hasty. Yeah, I think Naive is better. I don't know. I think that's fine. Anyways, that's what I've been running all the time. Anyways, so yeah, because we don't need HP Fire on Diancie because we have a Magnezone, that's why I have 3 attacks plus Stealth Rocks. Magnezone can trap the Steel types that annoy Diancie, like Scizor, for instance, even Ferrothorn and stuff like that. And it works well with the team overall because Parting Shot into Diancie is fun. Z Parting Shot into it heals it up completely. It's really cool. We can taunt things, and it's nice. And Araquanid hits so hard with Liquidation, even though we're not Choice Banded. And like another option is running Choice Band on it if you want. If you're not worried about taking less damage, you could either do this. This is basically our options here, right? And I've tested out all of these, and they work fine for me. You could do something like this and keep it like that, or you could do something like this with Assault Vest, keep it with Choice Band, or just keep double Assault Vest. I like double Assault Vest because it actually sponges hits a lot better, and that's what I've been using at least. So yeah, now what we're gonna do is we have a Stealth Rocker, we're at a Defogger now, and that's gonna be like Araquanid actually can check Zygarde pretty well, I guess, sort of, depending on the set. Like Persian can check Zygarde because of Foul Play, and we have Fur Coat. Fur Coat is so cool. Fur Coat is so fun on this thing. Doubles defense, so we get a double defense on this thing, which is pretty nice. So I think what we're gonna do here is add our Defogger, which is Lottie. Nice and Pimp squad here, Soul Dew. So we got the Z Parting Shot to heal him on. And we got the Healing Wish coming up on deck too. So that's team support right there. Defog, Healing Wish, and there we go. So we have a Lottie, which it looks cool. Like this team is looking nice. Look at this Mega. This team is looking like a Heat Lord squad right here. All right, our last Pokemon now is gonna be. Oh, I took away Lando. I wanted to keep Lando, so we're gonna keep Lando. We're gonna keep Lando, but we are gonna make it a Choice Scarf set, more offensive set than what it was previously, which I don't remember. I think it was it like a defensive set or something? I don't remember, but maybe it was like a max attack set with rocks. But this time we're running Earthquake, Stone Edge, Ice, Hidden Power Ice, and U-Turn. Pretty much like this. No, not like this. Oh, no wonder. Earthquake. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is a fine spread. 2-hit KOs Landorus with HP Ice. 2-hit KOs Garchomp and stuff too. And it gives us momentum. Gives us Voltorb with Magnezone. You have like Araquanid as well. I was facing a bunch of teams with this team. It put in so much work. Like all my ladder games have been like in the 1700s with all these teams and like above. And I got like one of the teams like 1800 on like a separate account. And it's really cool. Like this, like if I were to like ladder with all of these teams, like seriously, I'm pretty sure they make it pretty far. I feel, because I was winning consistently with them. I only like tilted while testing, which is natural because you want to, I guess, figure out what's good with the team and stuff. But yeah, so that is gonna be the team. Overall, that's team number 10. So it's a cool team for sure. I definitely like it a lot. And what else am I gonna say here? So like, yeah, basically Persian works in this way. Like Persian basically works as a sort of like mon that can help the team take less damage, and it's really supporting Pokemon such as Araquanid and Diancie. So I think that's a really unique way of using it. And we have Healing Wish Lottie to help support that as well, including Magnezone. I think Magnezone's a great mon too, with AV alongside Araquanid. Double AV is really cool. And yeah, Choice Scarf Lando to, I guess, sort of check things that we need to check. That's gonna be the team. Like Araquanid's water bubble ability is so busted. It's so cool. It takes less from fire, from water, and oh no, it doubles water, it takes less from fire. And it's so cool. I love Araquanid a lot. I like it more than Golisopod for sure, because Golisopod's ability is pretty garbage, I guess. If you do, it can be useful in like strategy wise. Like if you can strategize like pivoting out. It's like sort of like one of those, like, what is that, emergency button things? What is that, like that button item that like makes you eject button? So it works kind of like that, but overall Araquanid's ability is way more useful. So yeah, that's gonna be the team. I hope you like it, and let's just go ahead and take a look at all the teams together right now. Alright, so here it is, guys, the final look at our 10 teams that we've pimped today. Hope you all enjoyed episode 1. I had a lot of fun. I had a ton of fun with being able to pimp these squads. They look really cool. They play really well, for sure. I've tested them all out, and they work for me. I'm hoping that they all work for you guys. Feel free to try them out. Paste bins for them are in the description below, and make sure you guys submit your teams. And of course, another thing you guys can do, of course, besides of course leaving the paste bins and just letting me know what you guys think and stuff, is tell me what your favorite teams are. Let me know what your favorite teams that you guys see here are, and I will. I'm probably gonna take a couple of these teams, the ones that I like the most, and the ones that you guys want to see the most, and maybe do some lives with them. Maybe you want to see how the team works out in practice, and I can show you guys that in a live. Feel free to let me know what you guys think about that, and what you guys like most about it and stuff. I do appreciate all the support. It really means a lot to me. That's episode 1 of Pimp My Squad. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.